I'm Merritt Crawford of Just BeeCuzz, and this is the Just BeeCuzz Buzz, a YouTube channel where I will share thread tales of my journey through quilting, cross stitch, needle turn applique, wool applique, or anything that might involve needle and thread. I have a strong family history of needle workers, from great-grandmothers to grandmothers, mothers, sister, aunts. It's a wonderful heritage that I have. So getting to know your needle worker. Number one, where do I live? Well, I recently moved to Northwest Ohio in a little town called White House as a result of my husband's job change about a year ago. And we haven't gotten out much just because of the current situation, but I do like the little town and it seems very quaint and nice. What do I do for a living? I am a registered dietitian and I do consulting for long-term care. Currently, I haven't been working very much outside the home, but have been enjoying getting things settled at my home after the move and cooking and gardening and doing some things around here. I also have a quilting business, the Just BeeCuzz, and I teach people how to quilt, all kinds of things, little projects, big projects, and most recently I've become a gem affiliate through MJ Kinman, and we teach people how to make beautiful gems using fabric and foundation paper piecing. So that's what I'm currently doing. Do I have any children? Yes, my husband and I have 2 girls, Jessica and Katie. And do I have any pets? Yes, we have a Great Pyrenees named Allie, and we have 2 kitty cats. One is Coda, or Dakota, and she is a calico, kind of a medium hair fluff ball, and she's about 13 years old. She was a rescue. And then we also have one named Ferguson, and she's also a calico, and she's a little stinker sometimes. I think sometimes we might have misnamed her. If you're familiar with the chick flicks Steel Magnolias and Weezer, well, that might be our kitty cat. She is a stinker sometimes. Anyway, we love her, so we'll put up with her. What other hobbies do I have besides stitching? Well, I enjoy cooking, baking, gardening, especially like trying to grow cut flowers because I love to have pretty flowers in my home. And I also enjoy puzzles, so a few hobbies there. What is my favorite movie? Romantic movie would be Forever Young with Mel Gibson. A funny movie would be The Steel Magnolias. Another funny movie that I really like is Secondhand Lions. And just another classic would be The Man from Snowy River. Really enjoy those. What's my favorite TV show? Well, I enjoy When Calls the Heart. It's a Hallmark series. And then I also enjoy Reba. And then some of the reality music shows and some of the reality sports shows. Enjoy those. My favorite book would be the Bible. I try every day to read my Bible. It has really given me some peace and calm and assurance, especially during these times. But throughout my life, it has been the rock, literally, that I have leaned on. What is my favorite music? My favorite music would be contemporary Christian most times. I enjoy Lauren Daigle, Stephen Curtis Chapman, Michael W. Smith, Amy Grant, Mercy Me, a lot of those. Just so many to name. And I also enjoy country music, Vince Gill, Carrie Underwood, Reba, Brad Paisley, Tim McGraw, all those types. Kind of the older country music folks of now. And then love instrumentals too. So just a variety of music. So I wanted to give a shout out to the channels that have inspired me to start my own channel. And that would be Teresa Kogut with Creative Whims, Priscilla and Chelsea, the Real Housewives of Cross Stitching, Cynthia Brew, Stitching in the Light, The Attic, 2 Tarts and Their Charts, and Stitchuation Normal by Kathleen. All of these are great YouTubes to watch, and they're under the FlossTube name. I've really enjoyed them, especially after moving here and not being able to network with folks. It's been great to be able to kind of see people and see their projects, even though I'm not getting to sit with them personally. Alright, so now I want to get into what I wanted to show you and share with you today. This is going to be a combination of cross stitch and wool applique and quilting today, so I hope you'll enjoy it. The first thing I want to show you is an old fully finished object, or an FFO, which is a new term to me. In quilting, we talk about UFOs, or projects that we've started and kind of put to the side that we need to start again. But this is an FFO. It's fully finished, and I wanted to share this first. Cross stitch was probably my first needle and thread project that I ever picked up, probably at preteen and teenagers. And so Paula Vaughn was pretty popular back in the 90s especially, and so this is the first Paula Vaughn that I did and completed. And it's Summer Remember, the pink ribbon. It's also in the Best of Paula Vaughn. It's the cover of that book, and these are publications by Leisure Arts. I used Belfast linen and the called for DMC threads. Pretty sure it was a 32 count. And there it is. It's one of my favorite pieces. I treasure it. So the next FFO I want to show you is going to be in the quilt category. So Quilt Some More magazine, put out by Better Homes and Gardens, had a series of wall hangings, and the front cover is the piece that I made. And there were several in my guild at the time. We all made these, and it was just a lot of fun. And this is my version. And this is a Dresden plate, a yo-yo. I love making yo-yos. Some ruching for the watermelon. Did my own quilting. A little bit of embroidery with the bee. So a lot of fun to make. One of my favorite pieces. And then with wool applique, a bird brain design pattern. It's a door hanger, and it says "Be Welcome." And as you can tell, I enjoy bees. So a lot of my things do include bees. And there it is. Such a fun piece. Makes me happy. All right. So now I want to share with you some recently finished projects that I pulled out, being inspired by all these floss tubers to finish things. I recently pulled out these two projects. The first is like a bell pull, and it's Folk Art Feather Tree by Mill Hill. And the one that I completed is the one here at the bottom. And here's the bell pull. It's got some ribbon embroidery on it as well. It's the beading and the cross stitch and then all the pretty buttons. And then it also teaches you how to do the cording. I really enjoyed that. For those of you that have bought the Mill Hill kits, the little small ones that are like the lapel pins, I recently pulled all those out that I had purchased. Some I still have, some I had gifted. But the ones that I had, I thought, I'm not going to wear these as lapel pins probably, but I love to see all these needle minders that folks have. And I haven't purchased any yet, but thought, oh, I bet I can make a needle minder out of these Mill Hill kits. And so that's what I decided to do. The first one I'm going to show you is the star. And this kit is called Americana Star if you're interested. And this is my needle minder. These are stitched on perforated paper. And so I covered the back with wool felt, and then this is my magnet. The magnet is covered also with wool felt. And so when I covered the magnet that's on the piece itself, I covered it with the wool so that it won't fall off. So there's the star. And then, you know, I have to have a bee. Beatrice Bee. Isn't she cute? All right, so here she is. Look at her. Look at her little legs. And her jewel in the middle of her flower. Such a cute little project. And there's the back. It looks like there's some other bee ones too you can get. All right, so then there's a fish, and this one's called Fancy Fish. I just thought it was so bright and cheery when I purchased it. And this is the Fancy Fish. And there's the back. And then finally, this was a project that I had made for my mother-in-law. It's a Mill Hill kit too, but I don't have the pattern anymore. But I just love the beading on the basket. And she has since passed, so I was able to get this back. And then finally, on recently finished projects fully finished. I had done several kits, 3 kits. One of them was the DMC by Fava. It's DMC thread and Fava. And I had initially planned to make the 3 that I stitched into a pillow. But then the fabric in each kit was different colored. And so then it kind of turned me off a little bit. So I decided to do something different. I didn't have needle books, and I thought that would be helpful in organizing my needles. So I first made a needle book with this one. And here it is. And this is a combination of quilting and cross stitch, because on the back you piece your back and then you do big stitch quilting, and I just loved that. I thought that was so much fun. It has a vintage button and then a little gingham closure, and then on the inside are the needles, and the A is for applique needles and the E is for embroidery needles. And I just really enjoyed how this turned out. There's the middle, and then here's the, so really fun. It was posted on my Instagram feed, and all the credit given to the designer that had done the little tutorial. And then the other one was a bicycle. And the bicycle looks like this one. And then here's the back. And again, such a fun stitch, a vintage button, a little gingham ribbon for closure, and then the pages inside. It's kind of a mess right now, so I won't open it. And then I made one more. I made a little, on the back here, you can see the little bird. I made that one and then gifted it to my mom, and it's on my Instagram feed as well. Next are the projects that I have that are completely stitched but need to be fully finished. And so the first one is Let Us Pray book. It's a Leisure Arts, and the cover is what I stitched. And it's on a Belfast linen 32 count Crawford colors of the DMC thread, and has a beautiful Bible verse. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Jeremiah 33:11. So I think I may use a tray to finish that in, a serving tray. I already have it. I'll probably chalk paint it and then put it in there if the fabric's big enough. So I'm going to try that. The next is To Know Thee is to Love Thee. This is from a For the Love of Cross Stitch publication, Leisure Arts, and it's a pretty little pillow, and that's probably how I'll finish it as well. The magazine came out in March of 1993, and I plan on finishing it as a pillow. It's a cream Belfast linen 32 count, stitch 2/2, called for DMC threads. And finally, I plan to make a little bookmark out of this one. This is stitched on heart hanger, and just love all the fun colors, and we'll make a bookmark out of this one to keep. Now I want to share with you some new finishes in cross stitch. I was so inspired by the floss tubes, and at night that's what I tend to do when we're watching TV, so I wanted to share those with you. The first one is a Lizie Kate design, and it came from a newsletter from the Finishing Touch cross stitch shop in Louisville, Kentucky, and I stitched it on a misty gray Winchell 26 count with called for DMC. Cute little story about this is I was digging through my drawer the other day and found this little ornament, and it is the same pattern. It was stitched by a quilter that I was friends with down in Alabama, and we had done a Christmas ornament exchange for our Quilt Guild Christmas party, and I was able to get her little ornament. I just thought it was so cute. Fun that I stitched the same thing. The next project that I finished recently is called Bluebird by Blackbird Designs, and it is a Reward of Merritt pincushion. Really pretty. Fun thing about this too is I've seen so many beautiful Blackbird designs, and trying to finish what I have. I haven't purchased any yet, and then discovered I had this small design by them, and I thought that was really special. Not sure where I got the pattern. And so it's going to be a pincushion. And I wanted to try some fancy floss, as they call it. And so I used Color and Cotton Indigo, Dark Indigo. And really like how it turned out. I thought it turned out really pretty. The called for is a Gentle Arts Uniform Blue, or if you were using DMC, it would be $37.50. So really a pretty blue. Love the variation in the colors. Alright, and then the final thing that I recently stitched and finished is a Lizie Kate design. And it's Thankful String. And I did some color conversions on this one because I wanted to use some fancy floss that I already had, that I had been gifted a friend who has since passed away. She knew that she was going to not be able to use all the things that she had, and so she gifted me quite a few of her cross stitch supplies. And two of them are Wildflowers by Kogut, the Red Flame, or Flame is the name of it, and then this one is Wildflowers by Kogut, and it's the Burnt Toast. And so you'll notice in the project the A, the D and the E, the leaf, the Q, the Y, the Z, the W, V, U, those are all using her specialty threads. And then I also used some fancy floss of things I already had. These are Crescent Colors, Pumpkin Harvest. I used that one, and then a Crescent Color Almost Auburn. And Crescent Color is now Color and Cotton. So I've used those. So if anybody wants to know what I did, I would be happy to share. It was a fun stitch, and I plan to make a skinny long pillow out of it. Alright, so current cross stitch whips. I have an old one and a new one to share with you. So the old one is the Alphabet Treasures, and it is a mill hill, and I stitched mine on an even weave yellow, kind of a pale yellow, and you're going to see by the date on it that it's been a long time being worked on. So I've just got to add the rest of the beading at the bottom and some more of the buttons and treasures. And I've taken inventory, I know what I need, I just need to get it purchased and finished. And then it will be framed because it needs to be preserved so that those treasures and buttons stay put. Alright, and then current whip is Noel Naturals, and they're ornaments, and that's how I plan to finish them. There's 11 of them, and this is a publication called For the Love of Cross Stitch, and it is January of 1999. And so I have an even weave here that I coffee tea dyed using Priscilla and Chelsea's method, and I think it turned out pretty good. So we're going to see. I'm trying my first one, and this is the Juniper block, and so we'll see how it turns out. Alright, so a quilting UFO that I have is on the back of my chair here. It's called the Bullseye Quilt, and it was a group of us together in our guild. We would make a block, cut it apart in quarters, and then sew back, exchange them, and then sew them back together. And that's how you make your bullseye. So you can see initially the block would be, the whole thing would look like each one of these, and then you cut it apart in quarters, and then you mix them up, and then you sew them back together, and you get this bullseye effect, and then you can quilt it. And it's just a really fun raw edge quilting, and then the border is real scrappy too. You can see different widths of the border. So, and then the back is going to be this pretty yellow. So just need to get it quilted. So that's a quilting UFO. Another quilting UFO is the Elizabeth, and this is one of the NJ Kinman beautiful Princess Cut Diamonds. I'm doing it in the blue colorway, which is the larger of the picture. And I have one of the quadrants pieced, number one of one of the quadrants. So this is the front of it, and when you peel the paper off, you get to see all the pretty facets, and this is the back of it. So if anybody's ever interested in classes, I would love to teach. It is a really fun method, and it's not paper piecing, it's foundation using freezer paper. So it's a little different technique, and it's a lot of fun and very forgiving and very rewarding. It's a lot to learn, but it's worth it. All right, so haul. All right, I have a little bit. Been inspired by Priscilla and Chelsea and some of their finishes, and that's been another thing that's really encouraged me with cross stitching, and just the unique finishes that are now coming out. So I found this at Hobby Lobby in their spring collection on sale, and I love the embossed pieces of it, and then it kind of looks like a barn. And I plan to put something here. I don't want to really cover up the embossed pieces if I can help it, because I think they're pretty. And then at Michael's, I found this little easel, and I hope to do interchangeable designs here, maybe seasonally. And it was also in their spring collection, and got it at a good deal. And then when I heard people talking about the fancy floss, I shared with you when I did the Blackbird design that I had purchased the dark indigo from Color and Cotton, but I also purchased two other colors that I just thought were pretty. One of them is the blue hydrangea, and the other one is the boysenberry, and I just thought they were so pretty. Not sure what I'll do with them yet, but really enjoyed receiving those. And then I also purchased a couple of charts on D-Stash on Facebook. The Dizzy Busy Bees by the Sweetheart Tree, really cute. And then the Summer Basket by Lizie Kate. I enjoy smalls, so it was fun to get two little patterns that were on the small side. And so finally, I want to end with an encouraging word. This is going to be a prayer, it might be a scripture, it might be a quote that has been encouraging to me. And that's how I want to end my videos, so that we can end on an encouraging note. So one of my favorite verses, especially when I feel maybe upset, or maybe there's something on the horizon and I'm not sure about what it's going to look like or how it's going to end, this verse has really helped me. When my anxious thoughts multiply within me, thy consolations delight my soul. Psalms 94:19. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for coming, and I hope you'll subscribe and like, ask any questions. I hope to continue to do this, and thank you so much.